How's it going, everybody? Happy Friday. Officially the end of the week. I did not trade today, unfortunately, or fortunately, right? I took the day off. I went to I live around Miami, so I went to the Miami F1, had a great time, and yeah, still spent my day watching fast cars go around the track and having a good time with my friends. So I can't be upset that I wasn't on the charts today. So it is what it is. Um, if you're new to the channel, thank you. Thank you for clicking. If you're not, thank you for sticking around. I created this channel uh, almost a year now, right? So last year in July, I started posting, and I did it for completely selfish reasons, right? I did it to hold myself accountable for my trades, for my strategy, and I did it with the help of you guys. Unfortunately, prior to that, I was never holding myself accountable for my trades. I had very bad habits. Fast forward, a few of us got funded together, right? We passed the FTMO challenge. I was on my way to get max allocated with them, and October hit, and I completely fell off of posting on my channel. So then bad habits came back into place. I started over trading, sticking to my strategy, and unfortunately, um, this was at the same time that CFD firms were just taking a shit. So with that, I ended up losing my capital, and it is what it is. Now, it's a new year. I'm no longer trading those firms. I am a futures traders, guys. We're trading futures now. And I am max allocated with Top Step, which is amazing, right? And we have a few Apex challenges along that are on their way. And yeah, and life is great, dude. I can't complain. I am doing this, and I kind of like fell off from what my goals were last year just because of the holidays and everything else, and having my newborn and my newborn not sleeping, and it was just, it was stressful time. But I'm doing this for freedom, right? I think most people are either doing it for the money or for the freedom. And for me, honestly, it's absolutely for the freedom. I want to be able to stay home with my family. I want to be able to, you know, take a week off. Not from trading, but just take a week off. Like I don't have to be anywhere and just grab my kids and whatever. If I want to drive across the country, if I want to go to Hawaii, if I want to go to another country, I can. And unfortunately, right now I can't do that. And I believe and I know that trading will get me there, right? So fast forward to today. Where are we at? We got two challenges open with Apex, 300K challenges. We're currently up $2,000 on one, and we're currently up $4,000 on the other with a very simple strategy. Even though yesterday's trade, I took it and it wasn't sticking to the rules 100%, but I still took the trade and I hit take profit. Today would have been one of those discretional trades as well. I'm not marking it up as a win, but we're gonna get into what played out today, and yeah. So for you guys that are new, the strategy is extremely simple. Extremely simple. You're gonna take price from midnight. This is all Eastern time, right? You're gonna take price from midnight to 8:30, and whatever happens during that time frame, you're gonna mark out the high and low of it. So you're gonna let price do what it does during there because price can only do one of two things, right? Go up or go down. That's it. Our job is just to, try to, let's say, now I don't want to say predict, right? Our job is by having enough information put together, right? We can have an educated guess on what's going to happen. And as long as our numbers are right, well, we can make some money while doing it, right? It's all about probabilities, guys. All about probabilities. After this time frame, you're gonna wait to see the market take out either the high or the low. And when that happens, you want to see a market structure shift, right? You want something like this created, where you have a higher high that took out all this liquidity over here, pull back, create a low, and then create another higher high, and then pull back down and take out this low, right? Essentially, that's what you want to see. You want to see a candle closure underneath this, and then at that point in time, you're going to take your fib out, top to bottom, and we're going to enter in on the OT, right? The ICT OT, hopefully. And more often than not, you're going to see fair value gap in this area. And that's just an extra confluence that the trade will hopefully go in your direction, right? You're going to take a short position at the 61.8, and when price pulls back, the trade gets executed, and then, you know, you wait for TP, or you take partials along the way, and that's pretty much it. I used to be one of those guys that it's either TP or stop loss, but trading with these future firms, especially Apex, since their trailing drawdown goes up with you, especially when you're in a trade, I have learned to take profit on the way. So, getting into today's market review. Today is NFP, right? So it is a very, very volatile news event, right? If you guys remember, this up here was from a few videos ago where I was targeting the daily fair value gap. It was left there, and it's here, and you're going to see what happens today. So playing price forward, let me go to the 5-minute chart, because that's what we're trading. You're going to see that right before 8:30, we have volatility push up, take out the highs, and then come down, right? So technically, this is your new high that you're waiting for it to be broken, and this is your new low. Playing price forward for the news, right? Bam. And then bam. And then bam. And then bam. And there we go. Finally tapped into that daily fair value gap. Price just kept pushing up, right? At this moment in time, what you're technically looking for is for price to break these lows, right? Now, when I explain my strategy, I just show you these. I only show you guys this chart. But when I'm trading, right, and I explained this yesterday because I don't only just stick to the 5-minute chart. I don't only look at this chart. I'm looking at other things that are helping me come up with a scenario on why I should take the trade or why I shouldn't take the trade, right? So I use ES in my trading of NQ because typically they go with each other, right? When something happens on ES, it typically happens on NQ, or sometimes when let's say a high was taken out, right, on ES, but it was barely taken out, or it almost didn't get there on NQ, I'll still consider it as a high being taken, right? That's called it. There's SMT divergence, where the market makers are, setting up for a reversal or for there to be a move going in whichever direction that you think it's going to go in, right? As long as it's a buy side divergence or sell side divergence, if that makes any sense. If you guys want me to get into another video of that, I will. I'm not great at it, but I don't mind. I'll explain it as best as I can and how I understand it and how I use it, right? Because this would have been one of those days where I would have used it not so much for entry because there wasn't any. I would have used it on an exit, right? So getting into the trade, at this point, I was looking for a sell, right? Like I wanted to take a sell off of the daily fair value gap. Now, pulling price down and using my fib, I would start measuring out and trying to see where the reversal is going to come into play, right? Now, as you can see, we broke all these lows, but we never closed below. But if you come to ES, we did, right? This candle, this candle here, or this candle here, which matches up with this candle, all closed below these lows. So I still wanted to see a sell. So at this point in time, I would have set up a short position, right? Here, I would, yeah, that's a big stop. I would not have kept my stop that big, guys. You know, that's a 60-point stop. Like, that's big. I wouldn't have kept my stop that big. I would have dropped down to the 1 minute so I get a little more in depth on what's going on. I would have probably kept, there's a fair value gap there. I would honestly have probably kept my stop right around here, right? If we blow through this, that's it. You know, price is reversing and my trade idea was completely wrong. But I would have kept my stop around 24 points or maybe 30 points, right? Let's say 30. Give it a good 30 points. Somewhere around there is where I would have kept my stop. Playing price forward, you're going to see if we get tagged into the trade or not. And we barely get tagged in. Typically, I do not set my trades, guys, at the 61.8. I would set it in between or at the 59, right? That's typically where I would set it to make sure that I get activated into my trade. So, let's just go back to the 5 minute. Now, you know what? Let's keep it on the minute. Playing price forward, you see price automatically rejects and starts going into our direction. Now, if you guys wanted to wait for what would be the word? Like a reason to take the trade and not have a limit order, right? And say, listen, I want to wait for an actual rejection from that point and for there to be a sign that price has shifted into my direction, not just leaving a limit order. Because I know sometimes people are uncomfortable with doing this. I got used to it, right? And my strategy has proven to be profitable over time. So I'm going to continue to trade this way. However, right here, where this impulsive, right, displacement candle pushes down and clears out these two fair value gaps, if you really wanted to, you could have taken a short position here, covered the high of the candle, and targeted, 2 times risk. Why? Because your whole analysis is that price is going to be bearish. The fact that we took out these fair value gaps, you could have targeted this low to go break even, right? And this, like, you have low hanging fruit that you could be targeting, and you could have gotten into this trade. Or if you missed out on the entry and you weren't paying attention, this would be another entry point. You keep the stops around the same, and then you go from there, right? So as you can see, playing price forward, right there, price starts to reject, right? Price starts to reject right here. So if you're targeting 2 times risk, right? Or if you're taking partials along the way, both of these trades would have been a winner. If you would have tried to cover this high, that 60-point stop, you would have never hit TP, right? Bam, there's the SMT. Looking at SMT divergence, more than likely I would have been out of this trade, because right here you'll see that ES took out this liquidity and then pushed up, right? Where over here, we never took out this point of liquidity. This is a extremely powerful tool and don't take it lightly when it happens, right? So you could have exited the trade here, exited at 2 times risk, right? Let's just put that at 2 times risk, and then this at two. Where's 2 times risk for this one? Somewhere around here. Oh, that's even shorter. Yeah. So overall, I would like to think that these would be the trades I would have taken today. Might have been wrong. You know, even if I did keep my stop huge and my contract size extremely small, um, I would have definitely gone out on parcels around here, right? And especially after this doji candle. Now, looking at price and understanding SMT divergence and knowing that we just pushed super hard off of NFP, I would have looked for price to also pull up. Typically during these news events, price will push down, but then it will eventually come back up, right? And the day it'll close up in the direction of where the news pumped to, right? Here you have SMT divergence, and this is just something completely different. I'm just going over it for you guys, a little knowledge, and maybe you guys can back test it and see for yourself. But the moment that you have SMT divergence, and let's say that it's right for the sell side, so now you're going to be looking for a bullish reason to get in a trade. Right here, there's a reason. Right here, you have a fair value gap. Sorry, guys. That was inverted, right? So this whole fair value gap got inverted, right? And this fair value gap held. But typically, you could have gone in right on the inversion of this fair value gap. Let's say you even got in there, right? Let's say you're going to cover this fair value gap, because if you break below it, then you were wrong. And then you're going to target the highs, right? Like, that's it. It's an extremely simple trade. It's extremely simple analysis. Play price out and price hits. It's like, when this lines up with that, take the trade. Like, take the trade. But you guys do your own back test. Start looking at the correlation between ES and NQ. And when that does happen, take a look at the win rate. I haven't done it. I know that people that do use it, I started using it myself, and it honestly has helped me a lot. So, anyways, that's it for tonight. I'm gonna go spend some family time with my daughter, eat some pizza rolls, and that's pretty much it. I'm definitely gonna do a video as far as going over NinjaTrader. I downloaded it on this computer. I don't trade from here, but I'm gonna go over how I use it, how I have it set up, because it is completely different than FTMO or any of the other brokers that you've been using. As far as other videos as well, I'm probably gonna get into a video on Top Step versus Apex pros and cons, and do a detailed video on that. And if you guys have any suggestions or comments or questions, I'm always listening. I'm always responding, and I will be more than happy to try to explain it the best that I can, right? I am not an expert at this shit whatsoever, and I don't believe that you need to be. I believe that, uh, what's it? Keep it simple, stupid, right? Like, just let's keep it simple. Let's trade the strategy. Let's have the right risk to reward, and you'll be able to make it as a trader. Like, honestly, if I could do it, anybody could do it. Anyways, you guys have a great night.